What's up, people? So this is a long-term review of my Surfanic backpack. Now I've had this pack for, well, at least 15 years. And probably going on 20, or at least 17, 18 years. And over the past year, in fact, more than a year, for over the past 14 months, I've used it day in and day out. Simply because, well, it fit the bill, for my needs. And although I have better packs, I took this one out specifically because I could have left it unattended occasionally, and it could have potentially gotten stolen. So if there's any pack that I'm willing to sacrifice, it was this one. But now it's really on to its last life, and I figured I'd just give you a quick long-term review. This pack is already featured on the channel, so if you want to check it out in more detail, maybe the features and what have you, then definitely check previous episodes. But even though it's not a pack that's very well known, or at least the brand, Surfanic, it was a cheap pack, but it held up really well, at least for the time being. One thing that I wanted to show you guys, though, look at the shoulder pads. Now, usually I grab the shoulder pad, the right shoulder pad, and then swing it over my back. That's just how I, engage the pack, so to speak. And as you can tell, just by grabbing it over and over and over again, seem to be stress points. The fabric isn't all that, to be honest. It's some pretty cheap fabric. But look at the way this literally crunched up over time just by grabbing it and grabbing it and grabbing it. And the padding just feels like it's softened even more and thinned down even more. And up here, for example, look at where it starts. It starts all the way here, leaving all of this, as just really thin fabric. On the other hand, up here, this is where the padding starts, and leaving this much fabric. But yeah, just using it day in and day out, and this is what happens to cheap packs. It served its purpose for as long as it had to, but I guess the main focus of this video was just to showcase that wear and tear, if it's not a good pack, especially on the bottom as well. Look at it starting to rip here and there. Pretty crap like that. But for what it was worth, I probably paid, I don't know, under 20 pounds for this, under 20 British pounds, anywhere from 10 to 20 probably. But it served this purpose. It was a great pack. It featured all the nice compartments that I really wanted in an EDC pack. Plus, it had this nice beaver tail, which I threw in my umbrella in here. So perfect like that. And so, yeah, overall it's held up really well. But just the fabric in itself, seeing as this isn't cordura or anything, it's just some random. Look at that. It's just starting to rip over time. And yeah, the shoulder pads, terrible, man. Look at that. This is starting to crunch up to next to nothing. The padding in there is just deteriorated considerably, at least compared to the other shoulder pad, to the left shoulder pad, where there's still some padding, even though it's not great, but that you can still feel it, whereas this really feels like there's nothing. And yeah, stepped on the sternum strap buckle by accident, so didn't feel the need to replace it, just because I figured, no, eventually I'm just going to retire this pack and move on to something else as my EDC. but it served its purpose for as long as it had to do the job. Especially because, as I mentioned, I needed something that, in case it was to get stolen, that I wouldn't feel too bad about it, and this was it. Um, but it worked. It worked really well. Just figured I'd showcase, what wear and tear does over time. Extensive use to some cheap packs, and that there's really nothing you can do about it. But yeah, hopefully you got something out of this video, and thanks for watching as always. So yeah, I guess I'll see you on the next one.